Hey guys, welcome to another great episode of Gaming Nation, sponsored by Fandoms Anonymous. It's going down, boys. I'm your host tonight, taking over for one night only. Dan Brosnan, D Bros in the building. We got the homies, they're here. Clay, what's up, dude? Let them know.
What's going on? Dan's Clay from Tales of the Blade. How we feeling tonight, everybody?
Man, we're feeling great. And then we got the Inferno himself, Daryl. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Boy, the energy is there. I love it.
Dude, I'm so excited about tonight. It is going to be high energy, high octane, because we are talking about a high energy, high octane game, guys. We're talking about Destiny 2 just dropped, and I'm excited. I know you guys are excited, but you guys are the experts with this game. You guys have already put in a lot of hours with this game, have been working. I see you guys out there. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the storyline. Tell me a little about the storyline, Clay.
So the storyline of Destiny 2 takes place after the events of Destiny 1, after dealing with the Taken King Oryx and the Siva crisis after the rise of Iron. It goes right after, and Earth gets invaded by the Red Legion, which is a legion of Cabal, which are like, well, they're space turtles. You know, that's the best way to put it, space turtles. And they come in, they wreck house, they capture the Traveler, which is the big god creature that gives all the Guardians their power, and it goes from there. And the Guardian has to deal with, you know, the loss of power and how he rises back up. And the whole thing is so cinematic. It's crazy. It blew me away. It's so much fun. Back to you, Dan.
Wow, it sounds amazing. Daryl, do you have anything to say about the storyline, my brother?
Well, see, I never played Destiny 1, okay, so I'm just getting to Destiny 2. Man, the storyline is great, and I'm going to hate Destiny fans, hate me for this, but I cannot remember his name. What's the robot creature name, Clay? One of the stars.
You talking about Cade 6?
Cade, okay, listen. Man, I love Cade. I'm telling you, when I met him, I mean, he was teleporting around everywhere, and he would just have so many jokes. I mean, just watching his story, I mean, he had me engaged the whole time. Now, I kind of feel like the story's kind of short, okay? See, I'm used to playing games like Elder Scrolls, The Witcher, Fallout, where I have these long stories. The story was kind of short for me, but it was still satisfying. Excuse me. But that's my only issue. I wish the story was a little bit longer, but overall, I love the story. Back to you, Dan.
I want to interject something real fast with that. So, of course,
okay.
With Destiny 1, a lot of the issues with the story, that it felt the same way. It felt really short, just kind of closed-ended really quickly. But they tried to do what Dark Souls does, and they put a lot of work into the lore of the game itself, into the items and these things called grimoire cards, which a lot of players miss, which was actually kind of sad, but, I mean, it's out there.
Yes, I missed it. Where's the grimoires? I don't know what that is.
If you look on Destiny's webpage, they should have a link to it to actually look into the Grimoire storyline, and it gets really in-depth with a lot of the issues with it, like the war mines and how they connect to the Exo, which is the race that Cade 6 is, even to the point of a lot of fans stipulating or even theorizing that Cade 6 himself is the mysterious war mine known as Rasputin. So there's a lot of different lore bits in there, a lot of story elements that are lost because of the fact that they're kind of hidden both in the description of items and in the grimoire cards that you can find on Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that sounds like a very cool twist, almost like in Star Wars, where there's a twist that says that Jar Jar Binks could be the evil Sith Lord. That's kind of cool. Like a little, sub-story that it's not fully in there, but you can kind of see it, and I tip my hat. I like that. I think that's very cool. Let's get right into it. Our next topic is the gameplay. So you guys just told me about the story. This story sounds dope. Sounds pretty cool. I know you guys said you wished it was a little bit longer, but tell me about the gameplay. How does it play, Daryl?
Well, I mean, I love the gameplay. I love the action in the game. I mean, and then I even love that each weapon had these unique names. It just makes you, I think it brings more nostalgic to the game. Like, you pick up a weapon called, like, the bomb something. I mean, these names of these weapons are crazy. And another thing I like about the gameplay is this, okay? Well, we know we play other MMOs, like you may find, let's say, a chess piece. And you love that chess piece. You love the look of it. But then you might pick up another chess piece that, that doesn't look as good, but is stronger, okay? Or you might pick up a legendary piece of gear that has a buff to it, but you might pick up a rare piece of gear that it doesn't have any buffs, but is stronger. In this game, they got something called infusions. So you can take that legendary piece of gear and you can, and that other rare gear that's stronger, you can infuse it. So it will bring that legendary gear that's, let's say, level 58, and that rare piece is level 62, it will bring that legendary gear up to 62. I love that about the game. So, and like all the different weapons. I mean, like I said, I love every bit about the weapons and the gameplay as far as in some of the action. Okay.
Okay. That's awesome, bro. Clay, what do you think about the game, bro? What do you think about that gameplay?
Well, like Daryl just said, there's a lot of really cool things, especially with how they immediately added Infusion to the game, which was a later addition to Destiny 1. So I was really happy to see that come back immediately. So with armor, yeah, you can just be as fashionable as you want. If you find a piece that really works for you, for your aesthetic, you can buff it up with stronger pieces of armor if they match that same type, like chest piece to chest piece, but it has to be a hunter chest piece to a hunter chest piece, whereas before you could cross-class it, like if you had a warlock piece that was sitting on your warlock and you transferred it over to your hunter and was like, oh, I want to put that on this, you could do that, but it got a little bit more class-specific now. Not only that, but the weapons were the same way. Like you can't buff a hand cannon with a shotgun. You have to buff a hand cannon with a hand cannon, sidearm with a side, et cetera, and so forth. So they got a little bit more specific with it, which on one level is actually kind of annoying because, when you have those really awesome weapons that are coming in, you're like, okay, but I want this gun to be buffed up. I want this gun to be stronger, but you're not giving me that type. It's a little bit irritating, but at the same time, it's not so irritating to the point that it's unlivable. It gets you used to.
I got that too.
Yeah, it gets you used to a multitude of weapons, which is actually really cool. The gameplay, of course, is a first-person shooter. If you watch the channel, you know we don't do a whole lot of first-person stuff on there, but I'm not opposed to it, especially because Destiny is such a fun game, and it feels smoother. It feels so much more. What's the word I'm looking for here? Open, live. The worlds actually really speak to you. There's a whole lot of twists and turns, and there's a lot of mysteries to the world that if you haven't stopped every 5 seconds to turn around and say, oh, hey, cave, and go over there and check it out, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things in there that are really, really just nuanced, and it's so cool. So, I mean, I personally have spent, since game started, at least anywhere from 5 to 6 hours a day, and I still have not uncovered everything within the world. It's that crazy.
Wow.
And the public events, the way they come together and the way they cycle around the area, they got so much more fun, so much more interesting, and you can actually go from regular public events to heroic public events with just a small little thing of destroying this box here during the event or making sure this doesn't happen. It's crazy. It's absolutely nutty, and I've had so much fun with it.
Those public events are just so awesome. You can be in the middle of a mission, and then you have to say a public event is incoming, and then you and your buddies and everyone that just runs over to the event, and everybody works together. That's another thing I like about this game. It's like everybody works together. If you go down, another player is going to come over there and help you. They're going to pick you up. And, in other MMOs, people hate to pick someone else. They see someone down, they'll run right across their body and everything. In this game, if you go down, someone else is going to pick you up, and everybody is working together to complete that goal. So I love that about the game too. Those open world events are just great. But one thing I want to say about the weapons that I kind of disliked, it's like the power weapon settings. Now I know they probably had this in Destiny 1, but me in first person shooters, I love shotguns. I love shotguns, and I hate that the shotguns are considered power weapons because they don't hold that much ammo. And so I be wanting to use a shotgun, but it don't hold that much ammo, so I feel like it's useless. And then I feel like the power weapons don't do enough damage to even make a difference. So I'm constantly using my first two weapons. So I think they need to work on those power weapons, make them very, very useful instead of like kind of mid useful. So I hope they can balance that out right. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, the way they retooled it, I'm sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, the way they retooled it from primary, secondary, and heavy to kinetic, energy, and power was actually kind of interesting because you can have a hand cannon basically in two different slots. Now it's kinetic and then an energy weapon. And then I understand where you're coming from with shotguns, but you got to understand that from the point of the players, shotguns in PvP especially were absolute game changers. If you had a good shotgun in PvP and just run up on somebody and just come around the corner and blah. You've seen it in other first-person shooters. It's so irritating to deal with. So they made them power weapons or heavy slot weapons, which you don't get ammo for except for on special occasions in PvP, in order to kind of tool that way. And that's really the only way I could see them feasibly doing that. And it just made it a different aspect to PvP because obviously you're going to get I always get a ton of power ammo out in the PvE environment. So, I understand where you're coming from with that, but it's just a certain step they had to take because PvP was just bogged down with that.
Okay, that's understandable, man.
Okay, well, since you guys have already started talking about player versus player PvP, let's get right into it, guys. What did you guys think about PvP in this game?
Well, I haven't gotten to PvP yet. Because I've been having so much fun with this game, I haven't dove into PvP yet. But so I'm going to let Clay have this part, but I hear the PvP is great. Go ahead, Clay.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. I played the crap out of some PvP in Destiny 1, but that's really mostly because I was done with the story and I was spending hours upon hours just kicking a ball around the tower. So I had to go find something constructive to do with my life, which was go blow other players up, which was just fantastic. The different game modes were all so much fun. Like the last one they added, which was taking these energy nodes and then running to a certain point, and basically playing basketball with it, just running down the court and slam dunking it in that place. Your character even does like this giant leap and just bam, and it was so cool. But PvP, because of the gameplay, the way they retooled it, the way they removed it, it feels just as smooth. It feels almost like Overwatch, first-person shooter, big and open and perspective, and it's interesting. And it actually, the respawn timers are not just ridiculous. You can actually get back on screen really quickly. The heavy weapons, because the way they're retooled them, like we just discussed with the shotgun, are not as obnoxious. And actually, it feels like they really retooled the hitboxes, so you're not sitting here, shooting way off to the side, and you actually got a headshot. It's like, what? I'm sorry, what? Or you get a headshot and you miss entirely. It made no sense back in Destiny 1. They retooled it, they fixed it, and it feels better. It's just got a better overall feel to it. It's a flow, and it's actually really, really cool. If you guys get a chance, please start, do some PvP, get in the Crucible, and listen to Shaxx talk your ear off because that guy has never ceased to be annoying.
Yeah, I'm heading to get to PvP.
Okay, so the PvP sounds pretty amazing. To all the listeners, viewers out there, go check out the PvP because Clay is telling you to. This game does sound pretty amazing. We covered the story, the gameplay, the PvP, and now something that makes and breaks the game. We got to talk about the content depth. What did you guys think about the content depth in this game? Clay, let's start you off, bro. What did you think?
So some of the biggest complaints that Destiny 1 saw was that the content depth was not enough. I mean, the original Destiny Vanilla, before they released any expansion pass, was really, really dry. I mean, you had this kind of lackluster story of basically a meet and greet for all the different nuances of the game, you know, from meeting all the different races that you had to fight to meeting the mysterious Awoken that lived out in this debris field out in space. But and then it just kind of dropped off at the very end after you defeated this ruthless darkness that was surrounded by all these crazy robots they call the Vex, and it left you hanging. There was nothing there to really feel. But spoiler alert, please understand what I'm about to say is a little bit of a spoiler to the story of the game of what we've covered so far in Destiny 2. So skip ahead or, you know, whatever. So anyway.
Spoiler alert, get him, Clay.
Here it goes. So the story of Destiny 2 so far really covered in a very cinematic way the whole struggle between the Guardians, the city dwellers, and the Red Legion Cabal. And everything that happened, you know, the covering in cutscenes and all this, that, and the other, it was so amazingly in-depth. I mean, yeah, the story cut off a little bit short, but at the same time, it didn't really leave you hanging. You were satisfied by it. It was like a high-class dessert. You really had to sit down and think about it, and it finished off the meal, and you felt good about it. Yes, I am quoting Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps. You know, leave me alone. Anyway. So at the end, when we had the big finale moment, when here comes the spoiler, when the Traveler finally woke up after 3 years of this guy just sleeping out in the city, when he finally burst awake, we see this energy wave pulsating outside of the galaxy and pinging something out there in the darkness. Out in dark space, something woke up. And it left you thinking, it left you wondering, what is that? What's coming for us? What am I going to, what's going on? And it's amazing. And something really just kind of just hit you and made you think. And then, of course, they didn't stop there. All the strikes, strikes used to be just, one runs where you just keep going back and forth, the same strike. And it always was the same dialogue. It was the same enemies. You knew what to expect. They changed it to where the dialogue changes in the strikes. Even the creatures will change. Their attack patterns will change. Things are different every single time you go into a strike. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you thinking. It keeps you moving. It's so unbelievably vast. I can't talk enough about how Destiny 2 really just kind of brought it with this game. So, Daryl, I'm going to throw it back over to you. What do you think?
Well, I think you pretty much took a lot of words out of my mouth. You said everything that I wanted to say. So I think everything Clay said, I agree with what he said 100%. Like I like when I go into a strike, it's different. It's like, okay, one time I was playing a strike, I said, well, didn't I do this strike before? Like, why am I doing the same strike over again? So I thought I knew what I was doing. But it changed on me. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I didn't fight this boss. Hold on. And I'm fighting this boss, then the whole game just changed on me. So I do like what they're doing with the game or where they're going. Now, I hope in the future I can see different enemies or more enemies because as of right now, we're seeing the Cabal, the Fallen, and the Vex. I want to see more varieties of creatures or something else they have.
And we just might see the fact that this thing out in dark space is coming this way now, so who knows what's coming that way. But Dan, I'll throw it back to you. That's all I got.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen that part, and I was wondering what is that. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But I want to bring up something else I have forgot to mention about the gameplay. It's about the vehicles in the game. Now I hope they can change this, but I don't like having to hold my touchpad and then have to hold square to get out my my vehicle. So I wish there's some way to change that where I can hold down on my D-pad and bring out my vehicle. So I hope they change that. But the vehicles in this game are really, really fun. I had got into a tank and just had amazing fun. I was talking about, Dan, when you play this game, it's going to be close to the end. where you get this tank, and you're going to fall in love with it. So I had to bring it up. I love the vehicles in this game.
Okay, all right. This game sounds awesome, guys. You guys covered everything from the story to the gameplay, the PvP, the content depth. Now, I'm just about to shake things up. We didn't even talk about this before. What is your rating, 1 through 10? Daryl, we'll start with you. What would you give this game if you had to give it a rating?
I had a lot of fun with this game. Okay, I had a lot of fun with this game. I love the story. I mean, even though it was short, I love the story. I love the gameplay. I don't like doing a half and stuff, so I'm gonna try to give you a solid number. I'll give it a solid 8. I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I was leaning towards a 7, but just because it was so much action and the strikes are so much fun, I'll give it an 8.
Okay, respectable 8. Clay, where do you stand with this game, homie?
I'm going to agree 100% on that 8. I mean, absolutely, the pros completely outweigh the cons. Everything that I had an issue with, minor detail. So honestly, that was what kept it from a 10. But at the same time, it had so much going for it. So yeah, a solid 8 sounds great.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. This game is a good game. Destiny 2, if you guys have not played it yet, like me, after listening to this, you're really going to want to. I want to go buy this game right now, guys. It sounds awesome. Okay, so we are going to wrap it up with Destiny 2, and we are going to do our last topic, and we want to talk about the upcoming games and DLC that is coming soon to you guys, to us. We can celebrate it and love it. Daryl, let's start with you, bro.
Well, me, okay. This is not so much as a huge DLC, but it's coming with a DLC that's already out now. Now, if you see me in the Family Numbers on channels and everything, you know that I'm a comic book fan. And if you know I'm a comic book fan, I like DC. And one of my favorite characters in DC is Batman. Batman is my favorite character in DC. Okay.
Ooh.
So GTA 5 is getting the Batmobile. So I am super excited about this. I've been looking back and forth, waiting till this Batmobile comes out. It's not called the Batmobile; it's called the Vigilante. But if you go on go on some pictures and put it up, type in the Vigilante for GTA 5, you'll see it's the Batmobile. So I am excited about the Batmobile.
Oh, okay, that sounds awesome. Clay, what are you looking forward to, brother?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the coming weeks, y'all need to be keeping an eye out for these games right here. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is coming. It's next week. It's at September 19th. Y'all keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be absolutely off the wall. As far as DLC is concerned, y'all know I'm a Dishonored fan over here on Tales of the Blade. I love the game. I love the story behind it. We're finally getting a DLC that a lot of us have been looking forward to called Death of the Outsider. If you know anything about Dishonored, you know who the Outsider is. He's the big, I want to say antagonist, or not even protagonist. He's in the middle. He's a neutral character, but he's the big chess player in all of this. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they go with that. Those are my picks. Dan, back to you.
Oh man, I'm gonna end it on a good note here, guys. First, I want to talk about a game that I'm super excited. I think we talked about it on the show before, and I love to give a shout-out to the handheld games, and we're going to talk about Metroid Samus Returns. I saw the little trailer. It looks really cool. I like the way that they're going with this game. I already have it pre-ordered, and it comes out in like a day or two, depending on when you guys hear this. Another game that comes out super duper soon in like a day and a half for you viewers, listeners out there, NBA 2K18. The reason why I want to talk about this is because the first time ever they are delivering all legend teams. So you can go to the Chicago Bulls and have the best players. You can have Jordan, Pippen, but then Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler on that team. Like, all the best Bulls to ever play are on these teams. Same thing with the Lakers. You can have Kobe and Magic Johnson together. This is something I thought that was super duper cool for the fans out there that, you know, always wondered what it'd be like for those guys to play with each other. So that is me for what I thought was cool and what I wanted to bring to the table. I want to thank you guys again for all of your insight and perspective tonight on the game, Destiny 2, that everyone out there needs to go get because our guys gave it an 8 out of 10. I want to thank everybody so much for listening to a great episode of Gaming Nation, sponsored by Fandoms Anonymous. We got to break it down, and Clay,
excuse me.
where can we find you at, bro?
Hello.
We got a special guest in here. Malcolm.
Hello. I'd like to say what game I'm excited about.
Go for it.
If you don't mind.
Get it, bro.
Well, there's a little game coming out called Super Mario Odyssey. It is coming out it's coming out in October. I just watched some gameplay on it earlier. I'm going to make a video for it tomorrow. It'll be dropping on the Fans Anonymous YouTube channel. So we're seeing Mario in a wide open world. He's even in a new a city that looks similar to New York City called New Donk City. So we understand Donk is from Donkey Kong and all that whatnot. And we're seeing Mario do things that he's never done before. Mario is with this character that he has, and it's kind of taking some of the highlights from Super Mario Galaxy. He has this hat, and the storyline is there's a tiara that Princess Peach has that has powers, and then there's a brother crown to it that Mario is going to be hanging around with that's going to turn and combine himself with Mario's hat. So, you know, you see the Goombas, you know, you got the Koopa Troopas, you know, you got all the other type of Mario villains or little Goonies. You can throw the hat at the Goonie, and you can become the Goonie. You can become a Goomba. You can become a Koopa Troopa. And to see Mario finally coming into fruition in a wide open world is just amazing. Now, I'm going to have to get a Nintendo Switch to play it. Doesn't look like it's in the budget right now, but you never know what might happen, what moves might be made. So I just want to throw my little input on what I thought about Super Mario Odyssey.
Man, hey, thank you for coming through, Malcolm. Special guest on his own show, Malcolm, bud.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm so glad you actually got to come by and say what's up and give us that insight on Mario.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great game.
I'm glad you talked about that, the new city, because I thought the city was actually New York City. So I was a little upset. Like, you know, if y'all watched before, me and Malcolm did a show about, you know, Odyssey before, and I told him I was upset about Mario being in New York City. So I'm glad he's not in the real world. It's just a world that's in the Mario Kingdom. So I'm excited about that now.
Definitely, most definitely.
This was the time I was going to close the show, but Malcolm, do you want to be my guest, bud?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead. I want to thank you all, guys, for listening to Gaming Nation. These guys do an amazing job each and every single week here on the Fandoms Anonymous YouTube channel. Clay, where can everybody find you at, man?
You know where you can find me is youtube.com/Tales of the Blade. We are Tales of the Blade, cosplay and gaming, all kinds of games, all kinds of cosplay. Going to get more cosplay up here soon, and we look forward to having y'all around. Y'all come check us out.
My man Daryl, Inferno himself, where can we find you at?
Of course, you can find me on everything Phantom Anonymous. I'm always on the Phantom Anonymous group page, so come by, leave a comment, talk to us. We'd love to have you. And you can find me on the Inferno Share Play, where I share play a ton of games. I'm going to try to bring you guys some Destiny 2.
Most definitely. My man Dan from Iowa, where can we find you at, man?
Find me on Facebook, D-BROZ, also TFC563, and also find me on YouTube at the Fan Club. And I want to thank you guys for having me and hosting the show. It was a great night.
Awesome, guys. And if you don't know who we are, we're Fandoms Anonymous. That's FANDOMSANONYMOUS. We're all over social media right here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for future videos. Don't forget to go to Instagram where we're at Fandoms_Anonymous17. And don't forget to go over there to Facebook, join the group where we have discussions like Daryl said each and every day, and hit the like on the Facebook fan page. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and or ideas for me or for any other guys here, please email us at fandomsanonymous17@gmail.com. We got a lot of stuff coming up for the Fandoms Anonymous YouTube channel, including this episode of Gaming Nation. We got some conventions coming up. We got QuestCon in Mobile, Alabama. That's October 20th, 21st, and 22nd in the great city of Mobile, Alabama. Also, Wizard World is coming to Alabama, specifically Montgomery, Alabama. So I will be at Wizard World on October 22nd. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Got new logos out there. Check out the logos on the Instagram and the Facebook page and the Facebook group. Check those logos out. Tell me what you all think about it. More and more content is coming, more and more new and different things what we are doing in the Fandoms Anonymous universe to make everything bigger and better. So, guys, as I always say, if there is anything else, thanks for watching, and have a good one.
Fandoms Anonymous.